Welcome to UNCUT with Why podcast, where we discuss topics that helps, harms, and honor our community. We speak unapologetically and say everything that y'all are afraid to say. Here we're going to tell the truth uncut. Now let's talk. Welcome back to Uncut with Why. Happy New Year. We did take a break for Christmas, but we're back like we never left. So welcome. Today, we have Teresa Edwards, affectionately known as MiZZ Entertainment. She's a powerhouse in the entertainment industry, blending her diverse talents with an unwavering dedication to excellence. With an MBA from Kennesaw State University and over 20 years of distinguished service in the U.S. Air Force, she has successfully transitioned from global military operations to excelling as an entrepreneur, author, director, producer, mentor, and exemplary leader. As co-founder of Terra Dome Entertainment, Teresa creates groundbreaking video and music production while championing social causes through her nonprofits Silence the Tears and From School to Possibilities. Featured in publications like Canvas Rebel and Voyage ATL, she's also a sought-out speaker, executive coach, and creative visionary, inspiring others like myself through her books, television shows, and community impact. Let's welcome my girl, Teresa Get the Bag Edwards. She's here. Teresa. Oh my God, this is an amazing bio right here. And like you said, it is not everything, y'all. It's the more things, contributions she has, but we don't have it all today. So we can go to the website and check those things out, and we'll talk about that at the end of the show. Okay, so I want to tell you guys how I met Teresa. I met her at a WYTishia event, and WYTishia stands for Women in Film and Television Atlanta. Can you tell me about your position and your role and your title with WYTishia?
I am the VP of membership at WYTishia, so I'm the first person that people want to talk to.
You?
When you got questions, when it comes down to WYTishia.
Okay. So, were you an actor?
Have I acted? Yes, I wouldn't consider myself an actor. I do it because out of necessity, because we was shooting a short, and the actor didn't work out.
Okay.
So you know how we do. We maneuver, and
right.
we step in and do what we got to do. So I stepped into that role, and then it was more me anyway. So.
Oh, okay. So acting is not the inspiration for you being a part of WYTishia.
No, for WYTishia, it's just because of being in the production of TV and movies.
Okay.
Because WYTishia is more than just acting. WYTishia is talking about the whole gamut of production in television and, production in movies, because you got directors that's part of that, actors, screenwriters, everybody.
Okay. How long have you been a part of that organization?
WYTishia? Off and on for a couple of years, but actually being part on the board, it's been right at the start of COVID, I believe, when I got on the board.
Right then? In the middle of that? Okay, that was interesting. Okay, so about the short you did. So you do direct and produce other, like, series and things, right?
Direct, act, produce, write, everything.
What's the inspiration behind that?
Depends on what I'm doing. I'm just a creative person.
Okay,
so it just depends on what's going on. With Brotherly Love, that's the short that we have out there now. It was actually started from a competition. It was like a 48-hour competition. But my husband had started the script, so I went ahead on and kind of massaged it and whatever and finished it up. We shot. We got the actors. Shot the short and the trailer. Now, that was not 48 hours. It was a week. Yeah, it was a week long. They gave us a week to do all that.
The series, right?
The actual short.
The actual short. Okay,
yeah.
Okay. So it takes some time then. It's some dedication.
Yeah, and then talking about doing that within a week's time. Because to shoot it, that takes time. Because you got to get different angles, and then just going into editing and then making sure everything, because it's always something that's going to go wrong. It can never be perfect. We strive for it, but you always got to be ready for those unexpected things.
You have more than that on YouTube? Is it just that one, or you have something
We
else?
have the funny thing with Brotherly Love.
Mm-hmm.
We shot it. I think we started with two. You had two out there, and we had to. Something happened. I can't remember what it was, but we had to end up reshooting it because I know because it was. I know what it was because it was such a short bit of time to shoot and really get it perfected. It was just for that competition, so we had to go in and redo it so we can actually have something truly to put out there. So we ended up kind of switching some of the actors out, and so we ended up reshooting the whole thing.
Wow, really?
So we got two web series. It's a web series. So we got two shorts out there, and the
One of them is Brotherly Love, and the other is.
well, it's Brotherly Love has two episodes. Put it like that.
Oh, that's what you mean. Okay,
Yeah,
got it.
I'm
got
sorry.
It
It has two episodes, and we got the third one written. We just haven't shot it.
I would like to be a part of that.
So,
Throw
that's
that in there.
so that's part of the goal this
Is
year.
to shoot that.
Yeah.
What about other series and shorts and stuff?
Well, we got one. Well, let's go back a little bit. So the main one that we're getting ready to start is Struggles of a Father's Love, which was a play, a stage play, which we ran for 2 years, and now we're going to convert that stage play into an actual feature.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How did the play do? Was it successful?
Yes, very successful.
It was.
Very
2 years, I'm sure. Yeah,
Very
that's
successful.
good. So did you win the competition?
No, they gave it to somebody else.
Oh, no. But still, you got the experience, though.
Yes,
So you know
and
how to
that
go a
was
little
really
harder
was
for-
our first. Well, that was the second short that we shot. So it was a lot of learning curves and learning experiences for us. So that's why we had to go back and reshoot it.
But you got what you need to move forward with your next one,
Yeah.
though, right? You kind of got some knowledge out of that.
Definitely.
Okay, so let's go back to this amazing bio that you have.
Okay.
I am now a part of the Terra Dome Entertainment family. Thank you for that. And you are a co-founder. Can you tell us the inspiration behind this entire organization here? This is amazing.
So we started off with music because that's how I met my husband. We connected because of our love and our passion for music.
Okay.
And, no shade against different studios, but sometimes they make the prices really unreachable and then kind of infringe on people's creativities and they what they want to do. So our goal was to really make it reasonable for the different artists so they can pursue their goals because we all, well, I ain't gonna say all, but most of us are creative. And you want that passion, and if you're truly passionate, you don't want stuff like money being a problem.
Right.
So that's what our goal was to, just make it affordable, so you could still reach your passion and reach your goal. And then we kind of just branched off into video. And that's how all that started.
Photography, all of that, right?
And we got a photographer, we got a photo studio. We dabble in photography, but that's not really our thing.
Okay.
But we offer a studio for photographers to come in and shoot, whatever photos they want to do.
Okay, and so while I know you told me your passion is music, so did you know that you was going to venture into putting podcasting and let that be involved as well?
No, it just kind of metamorphed into that,
That's the good thing about having a studio, though. You got
Yes.
like so much you can do. It's a broad, platform, so you can do a lot with that.
Because I always felt, it's got something to say. A lot of folks kind of concentrate on the stars and whatever, and that's fine. But we know a lot pretty much about the stars. But, there's a lot more people that's out here that's not necessarily a star that's doing amazing things. So that's what's another thing that we want to do. We want to bring light to those common folks that you see every day, but's out here just really doing some amazing work.
So what do you think makes them the star? Is it the more of audience they have that makes them the star? Because like you said, they could be already talented.
Yes.
But it's the only reason why they're not star level is because they don't have a big following or
Yeah, the exposure.
the exposure.
The exposure.
That's what make them. And you guys help with that though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and recently I just attended I'm sorry, what was it called? Like you showcase artists, right? Is that what it was called?
The music showcase.
Yes, and that was really amazing. And like I said, those people were talented, each and every one of them. So are you like the person that pushes them, to go further, or like not necessarily management or whatever, but I guess I know they come to you to record, but what other role do you play with that, like on their journey?
I would say the producer slash stage manager, because it's
Oh,
me
you
the
are?
one that's putting the artists together and then kind of just making sure the show goes a certain way and certain flow. So that's me.
And you enjoy that too. I could tell at the event. Like that's something you actually enjoy.
I do.
So listen, I'm aware, but the audience isn't aware that you and your husband are business partners. Shout out to DJ Talent and One in the building today. But tell us what it's like to live with and work with your husband.
No, God, please, no.
Girl. Double-edged sword,
Okay.
because on one side it's amazing to be working with somebody that's talented and passionate just like you. And I think sometimes our biggest arguments is over creative differences.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. And then sometimes, when you're working together and live together, you see each other all the time.
Right. So if there's a problem in the home, do you take it to work?
No, I try not to do that.
Okay. If
No.
there's a problem at work, does it end up at home?
We have to I think what we have is to have that moment of everybody go to their own separate rooms.
Okay.
Because I know, especially me, it takes me a minute for when I'm upset or whatever. I need to process.
Okay.
So I have to distance myself. I'm still cordial. We still like good morning, and then I'm going about my business.
So which one of y'all kind of like, I guess, like if it does you do have a problem with creative differences. So which one of y'all like more is the one to bring y'all back? Like let's compromise. Do y'all both have a hand in that?
It depends on what we're doing. So we have to compromise.
Right.
Yeah. But if it's my project, then it's my project.
Okay. Okay, that's how that goes. Okay.
And I am the executive producer, so I make the final call. If his project, then
He makes
the final call.
And you let
and
him?
I give
Okay.
him my opinions or my thought process on them.
Okay.
But I'm always right though.
And we in this generation now, which like you guys have been together a while, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we this generation now, couples like bump heads a lot, because I guess one want to feel more superior than the other, in charge or whatever. Man definitely wants to be in charge. So when you're working together on something like this, because this is a huge project, whenever I guess again difference of opinions come up and you can't find resolve with a situation, how have y'all navigated through that? Like something you couldn't find common ground on. Have you ever had that situation?
Yeah, I mean, because we're individuals, so you're just gonna have to agree to disagree. But it's still you got to make it work. So it is some compromises, even if it's to the point where I understand what you're saying, and I need you to understand what I'm saying, even if we don't agree. And then if it's nothing life, detriment, then it just
it always work itself out.
It always works itself out.
Okay. Okay.
But I guess it depends, because if it is, then, we just have to figure it out. And sometimes I'm just like, okay, we're going to try it your way.
Oh, see,
Yeah.
compromise. That's
Yeah.
so big in marriage. Like, it's very important. And then that's why I said when you're bringing it into the workplace, that's totally different, which I know that has to be a struggle sometimes. So I applaud both of y'all for that, because I know couples that work together and it's not always easy. Matter of fact, it has caused a lot of conflict in the marriage. So, like, do you have any advice for couples out here that are trying to, like, start restaurant businesses together, clothing, just any type of business, but they may not be, because you guys, it sounds like to me you have a level of respect. You're not going to let it go too far.
No.
Okay, so
No.
for couples that are still trying to get to there and, and they do want to start a business together, what is the key to, I guess, even if you bump heads, to, like you said, working it out no matter what, like it still come to a common ground?
You have to somebody has to be the calm one,
Right.
because you can't go to a level of disrespect because you live with that person. And some things just can't come back from, You can still voice your opinion, and sometimes things get elevated or, but try not to get there, because now if you're yelling, nobody's listening. So the key to it is listening. Owning up to, if you messed up, say, okay, I messed up, and this is what I'm going to do to move forward. That's I believe that's the key, is owning up to your shit.
Is that easy for you to do?
Yeah. If I fucked up, then I say, hey, that I messed up. So,
God, Please,
You know,
no,
I'm finna, you know,
no.
I'm really gonna get. You about to get on my goddamn nerve.
It takes me. The reason why I'm asking, Teresa, because you know we as women, we kind of headstrong and what we believe in. So that's why it's amazing to hear that you're saying that you be like, oh no, I was wrong.
I
It
can say
shouldn't
I
have
was
happened
wrong.
like that, or I should have took your advice. You know what I mean?
Bruh.
Yeah.
That,
But not all people, you know. But yes, that's the one thing that we have to self-check each other.
Yeah.
And especially like if we're out, and because I know when we're out and we're doing a job or whatever, sometimes he gets very focused. But I'm looking at the whole picture. It's like, hey, I know you focus, but you got to remember people are looking at you.
Okay.
Even though you're focused and you're not mad, but you have
the
that
serious look
they have
that may
that
be
serious,
intimidating. Okay.
Yes, and I say we have this little thing where we tell each other, all we say is check your face,
Oh,
and then we
really?
know what that means. You know, it's like, hey,
Okay.
remember that people are watching, and they don't know that you're not, upset. You just focused on what you're doing.
Yeah, you just serious about your craft.
Yes.
Okay, I love that. So I have another question, one more question about your guys' marriage and stuff and working together. And I'm gonna leave that subject alone. But I do want to know, like, how long have you guys been in business together? As long as you've been married?
For the most part, yeah.
And look at where you are today. So that says a lot, for people that are trying to work with their spouse. It definitely can happen. There has to be a line of respect, like you say. Compromise is very important. And like you said, giving each other that, that, like you said, heads up, like, hey, check your face, check your attitude. That's important. So I think
And
that's
being
amazing.
able to admit when, okay, I was wrong.
Well, before I end that, let me ask this. Now where you are, you look back, do you think it was a good idea to for you guys to do the business together, or if you had a chance to do it over, would it just be you would be doing it and he just your support, or would you would do it the same way? You wouldn't change
I would do it the
anything?
same way because I think we are each other's checkpoint or
Okay.
motivation.
That's good to have.
Yeah,
too.
we're both each other's motivation. Because we both said, would we be doing this if we wasn't together? And there's a good chance that no.
Really.
It's a good chance not to this level. We both needed that partner to be that push.
Yes, that's interesting. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, I'm glad that it's working out, and we definitely pray that it continue to. So let's get into this 20 years in the U.S. Air Force that I didn't know anything about. Tell me about that. Wow.
I went in right after high school. My mom said either you're going to go to college or you're going to go to military. It's like you ain't finna sit your ass around here.
Right. So you traveled a lot, I'm sure, then, right?
We did. She had a caveat with the military. It was Air Force only, period.
Oh, got it.
Period. Air Force only.
So, like that, now when we think of anything with the U.S. Army, Navy, all the stuff, we get a little worried, especially when our kids want to go to do that. Would you encourage someone 18 getting out of high school? Would that be something you would say, yeah, go do that?
I would.
Really?
Yeah, the institution as a whole, I believe in, but you got to remember there are people.
I was just going to say.
There are people that gives it a bad name. But as a whole, I get it, because it gives you that structure. It gives you that leadership that we all need.
And there's a lot of discipline in it, too.
And it gives you that discipline.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I asked that because, I have two sons. One of them is 16. So if that was something he was interested in, I personally would be like, please don't do that. Anything but that. And that's only because, like I said, things that's going on now, the new president that you are about to have, that too. So I would be a little bit more worried. But so you don't think that would, change your mind about who's about to be in the administration now? He just doesn't seem...
I guess it's like anything can happen whether you're in the military or not.
Right.
And
okay.
when it's your time, it's your time.
Okay, so you wouldn't let that stop it then just because who's in administration right
No, not really.
now? Okay.
Just try and focus on a position or something that you actually think you're going to enjoy or something that you can translate once you get out.
So besides discipline, what else did you get out of being in the Air Force?
I would say that leadership.
Okay.
Definitely a leadership. Working with people of different creeds,
Diversity.
that diversity. When especially if you're coming from, I guess a situation where it's just mostly you see what you see. Everybody
Only.
look the same,
Yep.
But it gives you that opportunity to work with different folks And then I believe that I think all kids coming out should have us go in the military, and I think they should go
Really?
overseas.
Really?
Yes, because you're getting out of your comfort zone, and you're going somewhere where you're seeing. Certain depends on where you are. You're gonna appreciate home
Okay.
a lot better, and
Yeah,
then
because-
you're gonna learn different things. That it broadens your horizon. It broadens your frame of thought. It broadens your acceptance of others.
Well, I may have maybe I'm misunderstanding how that works because overseas, even though you're with the U.S., Air Force or Navy or Army or whatever, once you get in their country, you kind of pretty much do things the way they do things, though, right?
Yeah. Now you still in that country. You still got to act accordingly.
Right, which is nothing like what we're used to. So wouldn't that be kind of I don't want to say hard or whatever, but that would be a challenge because it's very unfamiliar.
You learn. It forces you to adapt. It forces you to learn. Even if at the very minimum, it forces you to appreciate what you got here in the States.
Okay.
But it still opens up your horizon, and it still opens up your mind to others. It's more than you.
What about when we read about troops that are stuck in these other countries and can't get home? How does that end up even happening?
That part, that's still the military.
Because I guess it's because they're still, actively supposed to be over there, so that's why they're still over there, or
Yeah, because when you're signing those papers, you're giving them the control.
right,
You're giving up control.
which is very
For
scary.
as where you can go, when you can go. Yes.
But I could see why you would say if they get that straight out of high school, then that kind of sets the tone for them as a man, or a woman growing, coming back as an adult with this leadership, like you said, with discipline, with control, with understanding of other, because we're here in the United States and it's all cultures here, we have everything here. So that would help, I guess.
It's all cultures here, but depending on where you are, you're not necessarily exposed to all
That
cultures.
is true. That is true. But there you have to be
You have to make it work.
when you're around someone else.
You
and their
have to make it
beliefs and-
work.
So did you find out about any other religions and things like that over there, or you just wasn't interested in that?
I got more interested in the Quran, to be honest.
Yes. And that's big here.
Yeah, and just knowing those, because I had dated somebody that was a Muslim,
Okay.
and just learning that culture, as a whole. And, Muslim they got different things from different, depending on where you are in that. So that was interesting to me. Not that interesting to convert.
Okay. So I was just gonna say you didn't take that back. Like, okay, this is how I'm gonna do
No,
things.
I
Like,
wasn't that interested. No, I was good. But I'm a curious person, so I'm always, one to learn and understand others. So yeah.
Okay.
I do have a friend that is Buddhist. So
that's different.
yeah, he was trying to get me to come. We just didn't make that happen. But I wanted to go to one of the temples.
So you're open, like you that type of person. I'm open to,
Yeah.
not necessarily like I'm going to change my life, but I'm open to learn how other people learn.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's
Yeah.
really good too. So we definitely got to thank you for your services because that's very important. So on behalf of Uncut with Why, thank you, Teresa.
Yep.
Okay, now
Proud
let's
to
talk.
have served.
I know, right? 20 years. That is really amazing. I didn't know that. I'm learning something new about my girl. So your MBA from Kennesaw. Let's talk about that. Is that in entertainment?
No, MBA is a Master's in Business
Sure
Administration.
is. Right.
Yeah.
So you didn't do anything for entertainment? No type of schooling in entertainment? You just really just dive right in? You didn't have no college background on that?
For just entertainment, I took different classes.
Okay, you did.
Yes, I took
But
different classes, but not necessarily college classes.
Okay, so the business part of it, was it so you can run Terra Dome Entertainment like properly, knowing the finances of it, everything?
No,
It was for
that
something else?
wasn't the core of getting the MBA.
Okay, what was it? What was the reason?
To advance that I, just talking to folks and whatever, and it's like, hey, I need to go to the next level, and just talking to my mentors, it's like, hey, you need to get your MBA. Okay.
Because it's good to have that behind your name whenever you're doing business, right? Is that the reason? Yes.
It can be, but you don't necessarily. It depends on your, I guess, who you are and what you feel that's important. Because you don't necessarily need an MBA to learn business. Because there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there that does not have the MBA, but they are definitely great business people.
So you don't feel like it kind of pushed and where you are with business right now, like having that knowledge?
No, I didn't say that. It did.
It did.
And definitely, if you're in the corporate world, having that, it definitely gives you more credentials, But I'm just saying, depends on who you are. You don't necessarily have to go that route.
You don't have to, okay.
There are different routes to get to where you want to be.
So you encourage it though, or
would I encourage it? Sure, if that's what you want to do.
I just feel like I don't know why. I feel like I know whenever you apply for jobs now, those type of things are always there. Like, do you have this? So having that is definitely got to be a plus. You know?
It's definitely a plus. Like, especially like I said, in the corporate arena, it's definitely a plus. I'm just saying that you got to find your path. Whatever the path that you feel that's going to get you where you need to be. So
the classes that you took in entertainment, how was that? I know that definitely differs, from going to school for business.
So the classes in entertainment came because I always was interested in high school. So I took some stuff in high school. But after high school, went into the military, and it's life, like I said, life be lifing.
Okay.
So my focus was to take care of my family.
Okay.
And by any means necessary. After I got laid off from a job, it forced me to figure out who was I again, because I'm so focused on taking care of the family that I forgot, what do I even like?
Oh wow, what interests you?
Yeah, I had to. That was the first time that I had to sit down and just, okay, what you gonna do next? Because you get in that grind. And you get in that grind. It's like I got to get this done. I got this. I had at that time, before I had the child. You just have your family, so that comes first. But then it's like, okay, now what? And I knew from that job, because that was one of the most challenging jobs that I ever had, even including the military.
The one that you got laid off from?
Yeah.
Okay.
The first time that I knew I didn't want to do that again, because that was like extremely long hours. It was so stressful. It was ridiculous.
Yes.
But that was chasing that dollar too, because it paid well.
Okay.
But it would cost.
Yeah, and that's your health, your mental, all of that is.
That's what I had to learn, and what cost.
Right.
So I had to make sure that what I'm going for is more aligning with my spirituality or my values for as moving into it, because that's the one thing moving into, looking at the job. Now, sometimes shit happens and you just got to do what you got to do. But when you have time or options, culture is important to me. And that's why that's one thing that separates Terradome from others, is we try and bring in that family-oriented, that culture, where you're not just a client, you're part of the family.
Like me?
Yes, like you.
Right. That's good. That's really good to offer your clients and stuff too as well. So let me ask you, because that's something about that laying off that really bothers me, because we see that in movie stories. These people go give years to the country, but they don't always have work to come back to guaranteed, or like you said, you can't be laid off. Isn't that kind of crazy? You service your country, but you're not able to, like, some people are not able to keep a stable job even after doing that.
It is.
They definitely need to fix that.
It is. Like I said, sometimes there are, nothing is perfect. And most of the time it's people, that makes it hard. But yes, especially when they're coming back after, some kind of conflict or war.
Yeah.
And you come back and then you just, it's hard.
Yeah, because I've seen a lot of our veterans end up homeless.
Yes.
Like everything, and that's crazy to have served your country and not only not have a place to stay, but no income coming in either.
Yeah.
So
it's not fair. And
Right.
I totally agree with you. And then I think what's even worse is the Guard and Reserve, because you're not active duty. So they make it a little bit harder for you to get those services.
Because if you are active, all those things come with it. You
It
don't have a
comes
problem
with that.
But once you're not in the service anymore, it kind of
Because
goes
you're
away.
part-time,
Okay.
So, yeah.
So the benefits stop too when you...
When you're on, yes, to a certain degree, yes.
That is awful.
To a certain degree. Because you're not active duty, you're part-time. But it's still your choice when you sign those papers. But the one thing when you go Guard and Reserve, you can get those training that somebody on active duty has without having to dedicate your whole every day to the demands of the military. So
Okay.
it is a, kind of like a write-off or whatever, So it just depends on what your path is.
But you mentioned when you came out of the service, you still jumped right on in the work field. You got out there and found you work or whatever. And then even when you were laid off, you didn't just stay on your ass. You got right back up.
Oh no, that's not me. That's me.
I know, but that isn't everybody's story. That's what I'm
Right.
saying. Yeah, and unfortunately, everybody's not like driven. You know what I mean? Like a real go getter. So when something like that happens, they've experienced all this stuff. I see people come back with mental health issues. They have nightmares, like all of those things that's out there connected to the military. In a sense, it would make someone, a teenager fresh out, a little bit more scared about going into it because they see what can happen. But like you're saying, don't focus on that because for everyone, it's a different path, right?
And you don't have to have PTSD. PTSD is not just military.
It sure is, and I have that, so I know.
Right.
It
So
could be traumatic things that you've
things
experienced.
happen. Whether you're in the military or not, things happen.
But you do feel like, I just want to, before we leave that topic, you do feel like in the long run it's extremely beneficial.
I do.
Okay, so y'all hear that.
I do.
Okay, so you're also a director, and I know mostly music, like music videos, but how does directing videos and movies like differ? Like what's the difference in that?
It's a lot easier on a music video because you already got the words. You're just acting out your music. When you're talking about a movie or a short or whatever, there's true acting that's going in there.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? There's true acting, and then you have to work with folks that maybe can act, or depends on their level of acting experience.
So you're saying the people that you direct with music, you know how you said there are some folks that can't act and some that can't, but what about with music? Are there some people that just, they ain't got it, but you as a director can make it look like they got it?
Yeah, because the one thing that's in common is that's their music, so they
Okay.
passionate about it.
So you can do something with that.
Yes.
But somebody coming in that you could just tell that this is a hobby of theirs, they're just trying to do something, is that like more of a job for you as a director? You know what I mean?
It can be because they're not focused on it. If it's you're not taking it serious, then you need to move on and get somebody else.
What are the biggest challenges with doing a music video?
Doing a music video, I guess creative. How creative differences. I guess.
With the artist, you mean between you and artists?
Yes,
Okay.
because if you're especially the music videos of today, because yesterday the music of yesterday, they seemed to was more of telling a story,
Okay.
and then going along with the video, going along with the words. Some of the videos today, they're just something out there. It's not
Just-
necessarily
right.
telling that story, and I'm a storyteller. So,
Yeah, because a lot of people just have a background. They just standing around and saying what they say.
Yeah.
But you're saying you like for it,
To
like
tell
the
a story.
vision to come. Okay, I like that.
yeah.
Oh, that's good for the artist as well. So let me ask you about this when it comes to like a vision as a director or a producer, whatever, right? The artist may come to you and say, I have this vision for this song. What happens when you say that vision? No, I'm not seeing that for that. Because again, we've always been told a director pretty much has the final say in things.
Now the difference is when you talk about a video, they paying for it.
Oh, so they have the final say.
They
You're
have
just
the
doing
final.
what they need you to do.
Yeah,
Okay. Oh,
because they paying for it. Now when you're talking about a movie or something, that's a producer, that's somebody's paying for it. It's not the actor.
Right.
Majority of the time, it's not the actor.
That's
so
true.
they got to listen, or you move on to somebody else. But a music video, they're paying for it. You're just trying to
So you are
take
just.
take whatever they're thinking and bring that to life.
Wow, that sounds kind of fun. You know what I mean? Like, because it does. It sounds exciting because, like, I come to you. I'm just using an example. I come to you and say, I want to look like a sexy nurse in a
Yeah.
video. And you take that.
And you take that and bring that to life.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that has to be really fun experience.
It is. It is. Like I said, I'm a creative person, so I love to the love of taking something that's just an idea and seeing it all the way through to fruition. It's just so amazing. It's almost like, well, not, I was gonna say having that baby. When you see that baby come out, like,
Yeah,
"You're
like I did that.
here."
It's mine.
Yeah, you're here.
That's cool. So okay, so I guess when you're at work, it's not so much as work then.
No, it's not.
That's
Because
good.
that's what I love to do.
Yeah, people say if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. So
Mm-hmm.
that's pretty cool that you're able to do that. That's a blessing as well. Okay. So let me tell y'all, Teresa is also the director of my upcoming movie, Karma. It's on pause right now due to some unforeseen circumstances or whatever. So what do you have any advice for me, for somebody that got in that type of funk that I guess, I don't want to say giving up because we definitely ain't doing that. But I definitely am not as motivated as I was last year. So what do you think?
Everything comes with when it's time.
Okay.
Everything comes when it's time. As long as you understand that, especially if you say, I haven't given up, but I need to make sure that it's coming at the right time. And you just work to that time. I was listening to, it was like a rerun of Sway in the Morning, and he had Michael Bivins on there. I didn't even know he had a documentary out. And he said he had been thinking about that documentary and working on that for several years, and then finally he just like, it was the right time to start filming and putting that stuff together.
Okay.
But the fact that he had that dream and he kept going, it didn't matter of how much time it's taken, as long as you can feel your dream. I would tell you, like my book, my memoir, Articles of Life, I had started that book years and years and years ago.
Started writing it?
But I had to take a pause because I wasn't ready, because I'm talking about my life. And I'm talking about all the challenges that I have went through. So those getting through that first 2 chapters it took a lot out.
It's
I wasn't
stressful.
ready to go forward, but I didn't give up. But during the pandemic, I felt there was time. I had the time. I can truly put that together, and then I had the space to actually digress, and then for us kind of push that out, because you're not in somebody's face every day because you're
Right.
working from home. So it gave me that space that I needed to
Okay.
truly put that on paper per se, and gave me that space to kind of work through that.
And when you're writing a story about yourself, it's kind of like you're really reliving
You're
it
really-
all over again.
Exactly.
Like now you're going through those things again, so that can cause you to
Stress.
take a pause.
Yes.
Like, oh my God, let me get these words out. But then you thinking about the moment, that you was in when this happened. So was that like another thing that held you back a little bit from finishing sooner?
Yeah, like I said, those first 2 chapters took a lot out of me, because, like I said, it's divided up for different, I guess, times in my life. So those first couple of chapters was very hard. So I had to take a pause to get my mind right to finish up. But then I came back during the
got it done.
pandemic and I finished it up and I put that out.
You probably had like a sense of peace on you then. Like your mind was just like, I got to get this done. This is a powerful story. It's going to touch somebody. Let me get this done.
Yeah,
And
it was like I
better
said,
for you.
it was time. And I was okay with it being on pause. Even the book that I just released, it was a thought, and it was a plan years ago, because I got the promo already out there. I think it was like, when did we do that promo? Probably about 2019, 2020.
Wow.
Yeah.
For the book that I'm a part of?
Yeah.
Really?
I just went in a different direction. So it was really going to be kind of almost like a part 2 to Articles of Life. But I had the epiphany. I felt that God spoke to me. It's like, no, you share yours, but there's a lot of other folks that got more stories to share, and just diverse it by that. And I was like, oh. And then it was like, now let's do it.
Okay.
And that's when I say, okay, I'm ready to move. Because especially when it comes to writing, I'm one of those that has to be motivated, I guess you want to say.
Yep.
I have to feel when it's ready, when it's time.
Right, or I'll just get stuck. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I'll write a sentence and just, my mind will draw a blank or something,
I have to feel it.
Yeah.
Even with the play, because I wrote that script for Struggles of a Father's Love, which was based off of my husband's interactions, his life trying to, connect with his son.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it just like, we kind of talked about it, but it hit me, and it's like I was ready. So it was a brain dump. It was just boom.
So since that was his story, did you have to like go to him for approval, to do this play? Because it's like kind of showing something that he's going through, at the time.
I would say not necessarily approval, because we was on the same path.
You were on the same path.
We was on the same page with that. It was just making sure that I'm telling his story is as authentic as possible.
And okay, and that's I'm sure that brought on emotions, because now we got to address whatever's going on with him and his son and stuff. So, how was you as a wife as support for that?
Very supportive because I didn't just stick with his son because there was a generational thing in there. So I actually included his father and his relationship with his
Oh
father.
my!
Yes.
What's the name of the play again? I'm sorry.
Struggles of a Father's Love.
Okay, where can we find that at?
That's why we're doing the movie.
Oh, okay. That's gonna be good.
Yes.
So, are you gonna let the father and son be like a maybe not necessarily in it, but like a part of it, like helping you out with it, or
The husband, yeah.
just him? Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
because
okay.
now I would say that we just finished the last song of that soundtrack because there was more additional music that was added to the play for the second year versus
Okay.
the first. And we just finished that last song and we're getting ready to start working on a video. And then the video, we definitely want to incorporate the father and son and, and
yes.
other fathers
Bring
and
that
their
to
kids.
life. I love that.
Yes, because the focus is on that father, which we don't give enough focus to. And that's where I need to add that to my website, but we started Fathers United for Justice. We've started that nonprofit to really bring the arts through that for is focusing on our fathers and giving them the elevation that they so deserve.
Yeah, because they get put to the back burner because of just how it's
Society trying to paint
Yeah,
it.
they definitely have they ripped the men out of the home years ago, and we have just been dealing with that ever since, And it seems like it's like a chain reaction thing that a lot of men do not stay in the home. They go and create outside homes and things like that. So it's frowned upon. So you're right. In order to get back on track to turn this thing around, we do need to start with the root of the thing, and that's the man that had the household. So I think that's really, really good. So let me ask you something about this industry. It's something else. Like I said, the reason why, my unforeseen circumstances of why I didn't continue to do my trailer at the time. Why is it so, I guess when it comes to independent film, why is there so much, I guess, the word I'm looking for, it's like a challenge after challenge. Like it doesn't come together like, the other big companies and stuff. Why is that?
I think you just don't see because everything is going to have its challenge.
Oh.
Because when you're with the big company, of course, now you got money on the line, true big money. So that brings on an even bigger challenge.
But what I see, and that's just me from working with, like doing Tubi movies, but then working on a Tyler Perry production, it seems more organized, more
Because he has paid to get the right people at the
in
right
place
time.
to make it okay.
Yeah, and then if they don't work, trust me, he makes sure that you're no longer, and we're going to get somebody else.
So we can't do that as an independent,
Independent, you most of the time it's just my opinion now. You're working with a smaller budget, and sometimes you're with that smaller budget, you feel constricted to or restricted to what you can get
Okay.
because you can't afford this person here that's going to give you the main quality that you're looking for.
Okay.
So you have to kind of settle and work with those that or give some folks that not necessarily had the experience that time. So you're working with to me is the struggle sometimes is because you're not financially set.
Okay.
To do,
you think that's pretty much the difference, really.
It can be. That's just one aspect. Sometimes it's just you just out there if you haven't been to school, if you haven't been on somebody else's set, and you're just thinking that's what is how things supposed to run. Because to me, like the movies per se, when they have the directors, they're going off and doing all that other stuff.
Really ugly.
You don't have
I've
to be
experienced
that to get what you need from your actors.
Right.
Because that's bringing more stress to them.
Yeah.
So
and changing the way they can perform because they're a little on edge of how you might respond to their acting or whatever.
So I'm not that type of director. I was a mentor of Miss Amita Kaplan, and love her. And the way she directs is a one-on-one. I'm talking to you.
Okay.
Not a cookie cutter. Everybody's the same. And she figure you out as the person and try and just make that happen.
Right.
And then that you're more open to working together that way versus me versus you.
So that's my point. We can still do that with independent. I guess it's just maybe different. We don't have to use money as the reason why we can't have it more or have it as organized, right? We can still work on that. Like I guess it'll just be the staff, the crew, how we respond to each other, how we work together. Because I don't want to get, or myself or anybody listening, to get discouraged about working with independent. Because like I said, it does have some different challenges than the other one does.
And it just depends on. I mean, everybody got to be in. Because if you're just because I have worked with folks that I'm just here to do my part, to be seen, and I'm out. So
And that's just not passion, though. So
that doesn't work.
it doesn't.
It does not. Everybody has to be committed to it, and that sometimes can be a challenge too, because you can't pay them. Now, when you're getting paid the money you getting, you want, then you're gonna be more apt to do what you need to do. But if you're not getting paid, some folks have that attitude. Well, you ain't paying me anyway, so whatever.
Right. So let me ask you this: how did you come up with the name? Who named you Miss Entertainment? Is that you came up with that?
I came up with that
How did you come up with that?
because I love so many different things. I can't say I'm a singer. I can't say I'm an actor, because I love doing all of
You
it.
about
I'm about entertainment.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Right.
So that's why it's like, hey, well, that makes more sense, because I'm not just one thing.
But the funny thing about that is you prefer to be behind the camera than in front of the camera, though, right?
Yes.
Pretty much. That's
Yes.
more where your passion is. But if somebody like myself wanted you to be in the movie, would you be willing to?
Yeah, I could do both. My
That's
first,
a good thing.
yeah, my first is behind the camera, because especially if it's my vision.
Okay, got it. So before we finish with the entertainment, which one do you have the most passion for, music or movies?
Music.
Really?
Music is my first love.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I just I thought acting, movies would be more like,
Music
A
is
lot
my,
more,
my first love,
okay.
because you can get all that emotions or whatever from a song.
Okay.
Especially if that song is, because like we was standing in line yesterday to get something to eat before we had something else to do yesterday, and my song, it was an old school song, and my husband trying to talk, like, I need you to pause.
Because of the song.
Because of the song. I needed to get that song out.
God, please, no, no.
Okay, yeah, I do know what you mean. Music can change your life. If you're going through some of your hardest times, music has, oh my goodness, it has saved me from heartbreak, depression. Music is also motivating. Like, I listen to music all the way over here for my show today, and I don't know, I'm like, 2025 is about to be different, so I see what you mean. Music is powerful. It is.
Music is powerful.
It is. It is. I guess because, I'm an actress, I'm a little biased, so.
That's fine. You
I
asked
think that's
me
what
the
it
question.
is. I asked you the question, though, right? You're
That's
right.
my question.
Okay, so I want to talk about your two nonprofit organizations. Let's first start with Silence the Tears.
Silence the Tears is because I am a survivor of child rape. So Silence the Tears, because your tears to me has voice, has volume.
Okay.
And sometimes it can be overpowering and so very loud. So my nonprofit was just to silence that, meaning because you got so many nonprofits that's giving service to, and so many I didn't want to take that away. But what I wanted to do is, because sometimes finance can be a problem with trying, because mine is focused on kids,
Okay.
to get them to like a counselor or whatever. So I'm removing that barrier, because you have this kid, they need to get to a counselor. So my nonprofit is to come in and remove that barrier to make sure that kid gets the counseling that they needed, because I did not. But but you got to remember, I was from a different generation for as my mother.
Yep.
So, and I don't fault her. It's just you know what you know.
You know what you know. And
Yeah.
what you're taught. Right?
Yeah. So I don't fault her for that. But as we grow and we know better, we do better. So that was my goal, is to take that burden off that parent, because they got I guess transportation to get to that counselor.
I don't know why, but once you told me like what it was called and what it was about, I don't know why I thought that was for adults. I think that's amazing that it's for the kids because we always talk about, oh my God, this grown person, this grown man, they've been through this, been through that. But if we start where get them where it starts at, do you know how much progress how much change that can do before they become an adult
Exactly.
if you address it at the time that it happened?
Yes.
And normally, like you said, it's at a child stage. So that I think that's really good that you have that. So how's that going? The kids are like open. Like, what's that like?
We're still working on it.
Yeah, because they're a little bit more what's the word, impressionable, and also they're a little bit more sensitive. But kids are strong. Hold on, let me say that kids, because my sons and them, they're very strong. They handle things differently from how some adults do. We're way more emotional. But so what your
It depends on what they went through.
right? Because that could definitely change depending on how bad the trauma was.
It definitely. I'm just going back to myself. I became a different person, a different kid after that incident happened.
I know you did. So do they come in open, or do they come in like you guys have to kind of like give them that nurturing feeling first before they like open up and stuff?
Well, that one we haven't truly moved a lot on.
Oh, we
so,
should. Definitely
so yeah.
should. No, that's a powerful one for
Yeah.
real. That's because, like I said, if you get it where it start, we're talking about changing the whole path. Because once they get to 50 and 40 and we're trying to fix them, that's a lot harder,
It's a lot harder.
because you've carried this for
Yeah.
years. So I think that's perfect. Okay, so tell us about From School to Possibilities.
Now, from school to possibilities, that one we have done quite a bit with.
Okay.
Growing up in Miami, because I shout out to the 305,
Okay.
even though I am a Grady baby, so I was born here in Atlanta.
Oh, and then you moved there.
Yeah, we
Okay.
moved there when I was.
No, God, please, no.
Yeah, I'll just get great.
So growing up, graduating in high school, shout out to Miami Central because that is my high school.
Okay.
It's still at that time, it wasn't a focused on an actual career.
Okay.
It was focused on getting a job or going into the military. So that's like, and I'm looking at so much technology and so much stuff today. And if the kids had that knowledge of everything that the possibilities, and not just either sports or music, which is
Right.
nothing wrong with that, but I'm giving you options.
So much more.
So many a different option that you can go a different way. So that's the part, that's school to possibilities, where we target minority high school students and we do different programs just to give you more exposure. Like the first one was media.
Okay.
So we're talking about, I have a HR expert that comes in and talk about the different careers, because you don't always have to be in front of the camera. There's other careers behind that,
Yep.
where you can do project management, you can do web development. It's just a slew of different things you can do.
I saw online about 2 weeks ago. It was a guy. I can't remember what I think it was about sports, but they had him as a guest, and he was saying that there's a big need of more engineers, but it just seems like, I guess the kids these days they're not into that. I wonder why is that?
And it could be because of
That's some good
exposure.
money.
It could be because of exposure. They're not exposed to it.
So we should probably try to find a way to get that out there, because like I be telling my sons and them, like they love this PlayStation game, electronic stuff or whatever, but I feel like they can take those same things and turn that into something. You know what I mean? Create an app. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Do something like that don't just, because those things can wreck the brain too, because that's all you're concentrating on. That's all you're focusing on. You're not really learning nothing from playing Xbox, PlayStation and stuff. But I'm just saying, if that's all you're doing with it, you're just playing a game, you're not getting anything out of it. But I do know kids that be in front of the computer and the TVs and games and stuff, because they're taking something out of that. They want to, oh, Mom, I want to invent this app. I feel like I can make this. I see that there's a need for this, but nobody has that app. So that is really good that you have that, because that opens them up to more. Like you said, not just want to be a rapper, want to be an athlete. Again, there is nothing wrong with that, but there's so much more.
It's so much more.
It's so much more, and we want to, we want especially our culture. We want us to be exposed to that. Want to give us a bigger, broader thing. So, how long has that been around?
That came right at the tail of COVID, I believe, when we figured out we had our first, because it went through because trying to find funding, because sometimes that can be a challenge. And I had at the time that I was Warner Media, they believed in my program and they put up the money.
Wow.
Yeah, so I partnered with the Boys and Girls Club, the Metro Atlanta. So I partnered with them for our very first one. So we had, students come in. It was a few students, but
Okay.
hey,
You
that's
gotta
okay.
start somewhere.
You gotta start somewhere. And they was amazing. Our first class was amazing. I had an actual private chef to come in and fix them breakfast and lunch, and then we had snacks. I had somebody to come in and teach them the disc. So you're looking at your profile and how to effectively communicate with people that thinks differently. I had a panel of minority executives come in and just talk about their path and their experiences. We had someone to come in and talk about leadership. We had someone to come in and talk about presentation, because they had a business challenge. And their business challenge was to create their own TV show and shoot a trailer.
What?
Yeah, and that's what we did.
That is too cool.
We had someone to teach them about, the different things about a TV show versus a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, truly had them going through, because I want you to get some background, get some foundation.
Yeah. Is that not open for adults?
No.
It's not fair. Listen, I can go for 19. You don't think so? Oh, okay.
No comment.
Really, really, really powerful. Shout out to you for both of those organizations. I definitely want you to move forward with that one with the silence, the tears. Though that is going to be something powerful for these babies. They are our future.
Yes.
So let's get to this. This is a huge platform. You have a lot going on. So if anyone wants to do business with you in any type of way, any of your 73 jobs that you have,
I know, right?
what would how can they get in touch with you, inquire? How should we lead them to you?
Terradome ENT or Terradome Entertainment. Our website is out there with our phone number.
Okay.
Hey, let's make it happen.
And the website is
TerradomeEntertainment.com.
Okay. And on all platforms of social media is at Terradome Entertainment, correct?
At Terradome ENT.
Okay. All right. So I do want to thank you and your husband for believing in me as well and giving me this show and being a part of Terradome Entertainment. I'm excited about what's to come. And I look forward to working side by side on my movie with you because I feel like that's going to be something serious. Because, again, you are one of those type of directors that's not ugly. You know what I mean?
No.
You're going to get the job done. We're not playing around, but you definitely have a good, let me see the word I'm looking for, like a persona. Like, you have good energy. And I feel like anybody that's working on that, any cast members, I think they'll be glad to work with us for the movie.
Yes.
And
Now,
stuff.
sometimes you have to meet energy with energy, but for the most part, I don't like that.
And then I'm also excited to see what MiZZ Entertainment has cooking this new year. You got anything? I know you've told us about the play. Our play is going to turn into a movie.
Yes.
Okay. You're also doing another YouTube series, right?
Another podcast.
Another short.
Well, the Brotherly Love episode 3.
Okay. There's always the continuation of that.
Yes.
Okay. You said another podcast?
Yes. So I'm kind of retiring my Power Hour podcast, and then we're moving on to Unbreakable, a survivor's testimony to go along with the book.
Okay.
So I want a podcast to highlight folks that has experienced traumatic events and triumph.
Whoa, that's
and
a
let's
lot of
talk
people.
about the triumph. Now you have to talk about the traumatics so we can get to the triumph. So to me, it's just because sometimes when you're going through crap, you think that you're the only one, but you're really not. And this is just to let others know that you're not alone.
Okay.
And with my podcast is I want to bring in counselors to give you some of those tools if you're not ready to sit on that couch, which I still recommend.
I do too.
I definitely recommend that. But still, we give you some tools. So when you're ready, you can.
So they won't just be coming in here just telling their story. They can actually get some healing out of it.
Yes.
That's perfect, Teresa. Oh
Yes.
my, y'all see what I mean? She just got that type of spirit. But anyways, I want to thank you because that's my girl, y'all. I don't know if y'all know it, for allowing me to interview you today and ask some personal questions. Not too personal, right?
No, you good.
Okay. And we already know we can find you. So I want to end it. I like try to end it with something very motivating. And I do want to say, I'm going to piggyback off some of the things that we've talked about today. Trauma is real, and it doesn't just end because we're in a new year. But the key is, like she said, don't go through things alone. there are really people out here. You know, some people, when they're going through things, they feel like I have no one I could talk to. But that is just not true anymore. There's people that are willing to show up at your home if they have to help you. So if that is a need of yours, please find someone that can help you. I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Please remember to like, share, and comment on this video, and I'll see you next time.
To the sky and we ride what? Come on, to the sky and we ride what?
I am a successful businesswoman. I have a business called WyWigs Beyond. You can find that at Wigs, WIGSBEYOND2024.com. I'm an author. I have a book called From a Pawn to a Queen, and I'm also an actress.
Teresa Entertainment. We turn your fear of dreaming into amazing realities. If your dream is to become a photographer, we have a nice intimate photo studio just for you. If you want to record that next hit song or do voiceover work, we have a state-of-the-art studio also for you. If you want to professionally record your own podcast, well, we have that too. Check us out at www.terradomeentertainment.com. We are the only ones to turn your fear of dreaming into amazing realities.